This here is our old microwave, and mechanically speaking it works perfectly fine, but as you can see inside, some of the rust has come off, and rust and microwaves, or metal and microwaves as you'll know, don't mix well, and it's getting quite old and the dial you can't read anymore. So for educational purposes, but also for salvaging purposes, I'm going to disassemble this microwave and strip it of everything I think useful, but what'll be really interesting is to see how it all works. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove this big massive panel. It's all in one piece and it's held in by only a few screws. I also save basically every screw I ever find because it can always be used for something. I've removed all the visible screws, so now the bottom should just pop off really. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So, cracked open, and there's still some cords and what, so I'll see if I can detach those. So it actually seems to be fairly simple inside here. We've got this here, looks to be the microwave generator. Down here we've got the knobs for the controls, big massive capacitor, and then the wee tiny motor here to spin the plate. So there's this big ooking massive really heavy solid capacitor, but on the lid that I took off there's also another capacitor here, and up here at the top there's actually a fan. You can see it spin here. There's a wee fan, and that's just to keep everything cool. So I can definitely take this motor off, that should be nice and easy. And I might take some of the stuff apart and I'll just see what it's like in there. There we go. What's really interesting is right over here you can see what looks like a wee bell, and in fact it is, because that's what dings when it's complete. Now that I've got a lot of stuff connected, I'm going to try and remove this main body here. Let's see. There we go. And that'll give us a much better look now at everything. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff in here. So now that we've got it opened up, you can really see everything all together. So up here, this is the real computing power of it. This is all the controls, and there's even a wee fuse in here. I see. I'll be taking that for sure. So this is bound to be the microwave generator, I'm presuming, by the size of it. And then here you got the knob with the wee ding. It's funny, it's not even electrical, it's just mechanical, which is nice. And then up here, this one here, we've got a wee tiny gear train, and that's for the power adjustment for high, low, medium defrost. That's nice, but just love this sound. So funny, I never thought of this, but I've noticed just here, there's a bulb. And you know, you can see the microwave inside, so there's just a bulb here, and then there's some holes here just for the light to go through. The thing about most cheap things these days is it's either plastic or just bent sheet metal. So this wee bulb holder thingy is just attached by two wee pins here, and I can just bend the two pins up with my finger and then lift the whole bulb attachment off, and there we go. I've got a nice bulb and holder. So I've managed to remove all of the electrics, which looks like a set of Christmas tree lights, in one big bundle, and I can pretty much just chuck them out except for this wee motor here. I'll keep that because, you know, motors are fun. So I'll keep that, and now it's just all the bare elements without the wires connecting them all, and I can strip it down and see what's really going on. So first I'm going to try and remove this microwave generator because it's right in the center. So if I get rid of it, I should have a bit more room to have a looky. So let's take her off first. There we go. Here's your microwave generator. Looks like a weird drill. Look, you could even put a driver bit in there. Now I've got a much better view of this fan I was taking a look at, and oh, that runs smooth. So let's see if I can get it off now. And the back here, there's just some screws, so let's see if taking those off will do us any good. So I've got the fan off, and on the back here there's some writing, and it is in Chinese, but I don't speak Chinese, but by estimate it translates to motor. So the only thing really left in here is this wee black piece of plastic, the bell, and then this wee knob at the top with a few gears. And I'll take this bell off. I don't think the other two bits will be any good for anything. So that's it out now. So let's see what way that was. So this is the top. So this one's the power, and there's 4 or 5 different settings, and you just spin it around and it clicks into place. But the bottom one here is a timer, and it should actually be able to be used otherwise, because like there's 4 tongues here. There's 4 tongues, so obviously one of them is live in, neutral in, live out, neutral out, and that means I should honestly be able to reuse this as just a timer. It's really just a big metal box left now. So yeah, that's about it. So I fully disassembled the microwave and it's just in pieces now, and I thought it would be interesting to show you all the things that I have saved and I'm going to keep. So first I have a small yogurt tub filled with a fair amount of screws, and I'm going to need to sort these, but I will use every last one of them. The next thing is a capacitor. This is the smaller one, and that's the details of it, and it seems fair enough. I don't know, maybe I will use it, maybe I won't, what do you know. Next thing is a bulb and holder, which is great. You can never have enough light bulbs. The next is very specific but very, very useful. So it's a time sensitive switch. So it's just a switch, but it is time sensitive and you can set that time. This one's a bit cool. It's just a wee spring, you know, it's a spring. Springs are fun. Then there's the power cord, which is great because again, you need something to power the light, and you use a power cord, and you can never have enough power cords and plugs and wires and everything. Then I have the small motor which powers the fan. Very nice. It's not powerful enough probably to power anything at all except this fan, so I'll just keep the fan blade on it and I'll maybe use it at some point. Then I took apart the black piece of plastic and there were 3 wee switches in it. There's 2 of this style where there's just a live in and live out, or vice versa, and a little switch on it. This one's the same as the previous one. And then there's this one which has 2 prongs, and there is labelling on it, but I don't quite understand it, but sure, I'll find out, trial and error. So 3 wee switches, again useful, make to break switches they are. Then the small motor from the turntable, which is fairly powerful. It'll be low speed, but it should have a fair amount of torque, which will be good. And yeah, that's about it. So that's all the stuff I've saved. Oh, actually no, the door, yes. The door is the last thing, and I haven't fully disassembled it because I have to figure it out, but I'll get that. Oh, it's just plastic. Huh, I thought it was glass, but nope, just plastic. Well, in that case, I'll just chuck the door. So this has been a bit of a strange one, but who knows? It's been quite educational for me, and I've learnt a lot. And more importantly, I've got a lot of nice wee things, such as these motors and this fan. This is the one probably I like the most. So thank you for watching. I don't just take things apart. I usually make things actually, and I might even make some things out of all these components. Probably just this fan really, but thanks a lot anyway.